With Chelsea playing Spurs last week and Arsenal playing Spurs this week, Willian has been in the news and on my Twitter timeline an awful lot with people saying how great he's always been against Spurs. I saw Chelsea fans saying it last week after the draw. We missed Willian. Would we have won this game without Willian? I'm seeing Arsenal fans saying it this week. Don't worry, he always scores against that lot. Well, I'm here to bring a little truth to the myth that is Willian. So if you look back and say, he always scores against Spurs. He was at Chelsea for 7 years. This will be his first time playing Spurs with Arsenal. In those 7 years, he played 13 times. He scored in one game. It was a magnificent game, don't get me wrong. It was last year. In his 12th appearance against Spurs, Willian finally scored. He had a whopping total of two goals against Spurs in the league in his 7 years at Chelsea. That's a far cry from he always scores against Spurs. 2. So in his 13 appearances, he scored in one of those games. Well, he always gets on the score sheet. Well, no he doesn't. He had one assist against Spurs. So in 13 appearances against Spurs with Chelsea, he had 2 goals and 1 assist in the league. Now, people always say, Willian defenders say, it's not always about goals and assists. I get that. I get that. But a winger who doesn't score or assist...
What would you say you do here?
So let's take a look at results. This is a results-oriented business, correct? In Willian's 7th season with Chelsea, Chelsea played Spurs 14 times. Their record against Spurs over those 7 years was 7-3-4. 7 wins, 3 draws, 4 losses. Willian didn't start in 6 of those games. Chelsea's record against Spurs when Willian didn't start was 4-1-1 for an average of 2.17 points per game. When Willian did start, Chelsea was 3-2-3 for an average of 1.38 points per game. So they only won 3 of the 8 games that Willian started in the league, and they were almost a full point worse when he started than when he didn't. So enough of the myth, enough of the Willian legend. His PR team is amazing, but he's been an average player throughout his entire career. He hasn't done any more or less damage against Spurs than anybody else, and Chelsea was a better team when he didn't start than when he did. So let's get rid of this narrative that he always turns up against Spurs. He always turns these guys off. This is how mediocre players end up getting £30 million contracts over 3 years. So enough. Let's put an end to this nonsense.